Donald Trump killed a bipartisan border bill just to have a campaign issue to run on in 2024. That's the claim Democrats and the media were spreading in the lead up to the 2024 election. Let's uncover the truth behind this accusation and see how this narrative was built to mislead voters. Let's dive in. The Trump killed the Border Bill hoax claims that Donald Trump instructed Republicans to sabotage a bipartisan border security bill earlier this year in 2024. The claim, popularized by Democratic leaders like Senator Chris Murphy, alleges Trump bragged about blocking the legislation to use the border crisis as a key campaign issue in 2024. They argue that without Trump's interference, the bill would have passed with near unanimous support.
Guns and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you,
but actually is focused on fixing it.
Six Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it.
Here's the full context they're not telling you. Trump opposed the border bill, but not for the reasons claimed in this hoax. His opposition was rooted in policy concerns. Trump called the legislation a bad bill, arguing it incentivized illegal immigration and failed to adequately address border security. The bill also included over $94 billion in unrelated foreign aid, including $60 billion for Ukraine and $14 billion for Israel. Trump criticized these provisions, saying they distracted from solving America's border crisis. Far from being about political strategy, Trump's objections were focused on rejecting a bill he believed would worsen the crisis rather than fix it. It's also important to understand the backdrop against which this bill was proposed. The Biden-Harris administration's immigration policies had already weakened border enforcement significantly, creating the crisis we saw during their administration. Upon taking office, Biden reversed several key Trump-era policies. He halted further construction of the border wall. He rescinded Trump's expanded deportation priorities. He paused most deportations for 100 days. He ended the Remain in Mexico policy, allowing asylum seekers to wait in the United States instead of Mexico. And he also revoked Trump's public charge rule, making it easier for low-income immigrants to access green cards. These actions not only encouraged illegal immigration, but also created the conditions that necessitated a new border bill. However, the proposed legislation failed to address these systemic issues and instead would have legitimized many of Biden's policy reversals. The root problem wasn't a lack of resources. It was the administration's deliberate undermining of immigration enforcement. Now that we've established the truth and seen the full context, let's break down how this hoax was created with hoaxology. With selective reporting, the media focused solely on the claim that Trump killed the border bill to create a campaign issue while conveniently omitting his stated concerns. Trump openly criticized the bill for incentivizing illegal immigration, failing to address the border security effectively, and being loaded with over $94 billion in unrelated foreign aid for Ukraine, Israel, and other global programs. And that's the important context that they did not want you to see. Trump's remarks about the opposing bill were framed as him bragging about sabotaging bipartisan efforts. This deliberately ignored the context of his objections, making it seem like his only motive was to gain a campaign issue. By isolating and spinning his words, his genuine policy criticisms were replaced with a false narrative of political gamesmanship. Democratic leaders like Senator Chris Murphy used vague phrases such as Trump's, quote, allies being involved in killing the bill. This type of strategic ambiguity invites audiences to infer Trump's direct involvement in the negotiations without providing any concrete evidence to support the claim. In regards to appeal to authority, Senator Murphy used his authority to appeal to the public. The goal was for the public to say, well, if a senator said Trump killed the bill for political reasons, it must be true. This is classic appeal to authority. Together, these techniques manufactured a false narrative, turning Trump's principled position to a flawed bill into a political smear. Thanks for watching. For the full debunk to this hoax and dozens more, visit AmericanDebunk.com, where we use hoaxology to break down how these narratives are built. See you next time.